It stretched across an entire kilometer of polished obsidian, surrounded by hovering galleries filled with delegates from hundreds of species. Every seat was positioned to face the center, the pit, where matters of war, peace, and galactic order were decided. Normally, the chamber buzzed with the hum of political wrangling. Not today. Today, the chamber was silent. Every delegate stared at the glowing holoprojector in the center, displaying Earth, a blue-green marble rotating slowly. Oblivious to the galaxy's scrutiny, Councillor Valith of the Tharos Dominion tapped her claws impatiently against her desk. So the reports are confirmed? Humanity refuses compliance? Councillor Reverend, Tor of the Gier Collective, nodded, his insectoid antennae trembling. They have ignored 3 summons from the Council. 3. No species ignores a galactic summons. Councillor Maranth of the Valari Alliance lifted a translucent hand. Perhaps they simply lack the capability to respond? They are a new species, barely on the interstellar stage. At that, laughter broke across the room, sharp, mocking, disbelieving. New? Valith scoffed. They are catastrophic. Every ship that approaches their borders is either captured, disabled, or hacked. Revtor shivered. One of their ships pinged our secure communications network. No species should be able to break that encryption. But humanity did, and humanity didn't seem to care that they had done it. Valith slammed her claw down. They have violated Council airspace, dismantled Council scouts, and appropriated Council technology. And when confronted, she gestured at the holoscreen, they have the audacity to ignore us. Silence. Every delegate knew what came next. Valith rose, her voice echoing across the chamber. I propose we declare war on humanity. If they will not join the Concord, then they will be brought to heel. Every species murmured, War? Against a fledgling Deathworld species? Was it wise? Was it madness? Did humanity truly deserve it? After a moment, Reverend Tor stood beside her. The collective agrees. Then Maranth stood. The Valari Alliance abstains. Others rose one by one. And finally, the Great Council chamber rang with a unanimous, terrible proclamation. The Galactic Concord declares war upon the species known as humans. The holoscreens flashed red. Emergency lights strobed. Ships mobilized. Armadas awakened. The declaration rippled across the galaxy like a storm. But on Earth, almost no one noticed. Beginning. Humans have other things to worry about. The first sign that something unusual was happening came not from a government agency, a scientist, or a military satellite. It came from a university student named Ava Reyes, who was trying to download a research PDF at 2 a.m. Why is NASA uploading 40 terabytes of data to public servers? Her laptop whirred as thousands of encrypted alerts flooded the screen. Meanwhile, her roommate, Kai, looked up from his gaming console. Probably another meteor, he muttered, eyes still glued to the screen. Or they found an asteroid shaped like a duck. People go crazy over that stuff. But Ava frowned. She saw patterns. Ship maneuvers disguised as natural signals, erratic shifts in Earth's orbital communication band, and encrypted bursts in frequencies no human nation had ever used. Almost like someone, or something, was preparing for a fight. Kai finally glanced over. You all right? Ava turned her laptop around. Does this look normal to you? He squinted. Guy, I'm failing physics. You're the one who likes this scary space stuff. Ava stared back at the data. Space wasn't supposed to talk, but it was screaming. Somewhere far above Earth, fleets were forming. Weapons were powering up. Armadas were aligning in precise, spread formations designed for orbital sieges. Humanity didn't know it yet, but the galaxy was coming. Meanwhile, in orbit, the Galactic Concord Armada had gathered in the shadow of Jupiter, 12 supercarriers, hundreds of cruisers, thousands of drones, and a command fortress capable of glassing continents. Inside that fortress, General Atrax of the Tharos Dominion faced his officers. Our objective is simple, Atrax growled. We will surround Earth, jam their defenses, and issue a demand, surrender their technology, submit to Concord governance, and hand over all interstellar hardware. "And if they refuse?" asked a Gir officer. Atrax bared his razor teeth. "We bombard them until they comply." The officers nodded. Easy, simple, almost boring. After all, humanity was small, new, weak. Earth's defenses were primitive compared to galactic standards. Humanity had barely begun sending ships beyond their solar system. Their satellites were outdated, their shields non-existent. What could go wrong? Atrax activated the tactical display. "Begin the advance. Slow formation. Prepare to enter Earth orbit." No one doubted victory. Middle. Humanity does what humanity always does: adapt fast. The first human to see the alien armada was a software engineer named Malik Sandhu, working night shift at an observatory that paid him far too little for the trouble. He yawned, sipped cold coffee and glanced at his screens. Then he spat the coffee everywhere. What? He scrambled back, practically falling out of his chair. Dozens, no, hundreds of objects had appeared in low Jovian orbit. Metallic, triangular, moving in coordinated intercept patterns. They weren't comets, they weren't asteroids, and they weren't human. He hit the emergency line, but the moment he did, all Earth-based communication systems lit up like Christmas lights. Phones, dead. Satellites, jammed. Military networks, flooded with false data. Internet, turning into pixel soup. Malik's jaw dropped. "They're attacking our digital systems first." But here was the problem. The Galactic Council didn't anticipate. Humanity thrived in chaos. Within minutes, decentralized hacker collectives, some working from basements, others from megacities, mobilized like an immune system firing on instinct. And within 20 minutes, human hackers were already breaking into the Galactic Council's jamming arrays. Someone posted on a private forum, "LMAO aliens invaded. I just hacked their firewall with a toaster." Someone else responded, "Got their ship map. Uploading blueprints to torrent." And then a third, "Bro, their encryption uses prime numbers from a children's textbook." Meanwhile, military leaders were scrambling. In Colorado, Commander Michelle Porter walked into the war room to find total pandemonium. "Status report," she barked. A lieutenant nearly choked on his coffee. "Ma'am, alien ships, hundreds, maybe thousands. And they're jamming everything." "What about civilian networks?" The lieutenant rubbed his forehead. "Humans are already hacking back." "Of course they are," she muttered. She activated the emergency frequency. "Get me NORAD, NASA, Space Force, every observatory, and every major telecom provider." The room buzzed with frantic energy. On the screens, one thing became clear. The Galactic Council had underestimated Earth. Fatally. The first shot. General Atrax observed Earth through the Star Fortress's observation dome. A quiet, unimpressive world. Clouds drifting lazily. Blue oceans. Green continents. Peaceful, too peaceful. "Send the broadcast," he ordered. The Star Fortress pulsed once, then projected a translated message toward Earth. "Humans. You have violated Galactic Concord law. You will surrender your technology, resist, and your world will be purged." Atrax waited for panic, or pleading, or fear. What he got instead was laughter. Not from Earth, from behind him. Atrax turned. One of his officers held a datapad covered in scrolling text. "What is that?" Atrax asked. "Sir, humans have hacked our broadcast frequency." "What?" The datapad vibrated. Then a human message appeared, written casually, almost bored. "Sorry. Busy. Can you hold, 15 minutes? Another message popped up right after, in the middle of something. "Back later," and a third message. "Also, your encryption sucks. The entire command bridge froze." Atrax stared at the screen. "They're mocking us?" The datapad buzzed again. A fourth message appeared, this one with a photograph. A photograph of a human eating instant noodles with the caption, "Bro, chill, we're having dinner." Atrax trembled with rage. "They think this is a joke." Humans, second shot. Humans retaliate. The Galactic Concord Star Fortress prepared to fire a warning shot, a beam designed to vaporize a small chunk of ocean to demonstrate their power. But right before the weapon activated, every screen on the ship flickered. Static. Glitches. Letters forming on the screen. "We told you to hold." Don't be rude, Atrax roared. Trace that intrusion. Before his officers could respond, the Star Fortress's lights dimmed. Systems flickered off one by one. Weapons disabled, engines offline, shields evaporated. How are they inside our core systems? Atrax seized an officer and shook him. Find the breach, but the officer only pointed silently at the screen, where a single message appeared. Nice ship. We'll take it. Then dozens of smaller messages popped up. Human hacker groups from around the world, each tagging their name, each claiming part of the Star Fortress's systems. Atrax felt the blood drain from his face. They've taken control. The fortress lurched, tilted, and began drifting out of formation, as if someone was steering it like a stolen car. Earth's entire hacker community had come together, and they were joyriding with the galaxy's most powerful war platform. The fight humans didn't know they were in. Human militaries around the world mobilized, missile defense systems powered on, orbital lasers activated, experimental railguns aimed skyward. But humanity wasn't panicking, they were problem-solving. In Tokyo, engineers were designing new communication arrays. In Cairo, scientists were calculating alien drive patterns. In Sao Paulo, drone operators were forming a global swarm. In Nairobi, physicists were predicting energy shield weaknesses. Everywhere, humans were working, studying, testing, creating. War wasn't new to humanity. War was older than writing. General Atrax watched in horror as Earth began launching hundreds of rockets, primitive by galactic standards but fired with terrifying precision. Those weapons cannot breach our shields, Atrax insisted. He was wrong. Humanity's greatest strength wasn't technology. It wasn't numbers. It was creativity. One by one, rockets began detonating around the shield boundary, creating shockwaves that destabilized the energy lattice. Then railguns fired, then drones swarmed. Then thousands of hacking scripts began targeting the fleet's weakest links. Earth was fighting back, and they were winning. The turning point: humanity goes on offense. The Galactic Council fleet attempted a coordinated push. Dozens of cruisers charged through Earth's upper atmosphere, weapons glowing. They expected panic. What they got were coordinated global defenses firing so precisely it seemed impossible. Human military AI, running on supercomputers cobbled together out of gaming rigs and hospital servers, analyzed alien movements in real time. Every ship that entered range was hit. Every drone was intercepted. Every strike was predicted. Atrax stared at the tactical display. This isn't possible. They were pre-FTL. Then a junior officer whispered, "Sir, we may have misunderstood humanity." "How?" "They aren't ignoring us." Atrax frowned. "They're multitasking." Another screen turned on, revealing humanity's global communications. Humans weren't even solely focused on the galactic war. They were also watching sports, streaming movies, posting memes of the alien invasion, complaining about work. As if this was just another inconvenience, like bad weather. Atrax's voice cracked. "They don't even consider us a serious threat." Ending. Negotiations from a position of absurd power. By day 3, the Galactic Council fleet was in shambles. The Star Fortress, taken by human hackers. 3 supercarriers, forced to retreat by railgun barrages. Dozens of cruisers, hijacked, painted with graffiti, and used to block Council reinforcements. Earth had not just defended itself. Earth had humiliated the most powerful coalition in the galaxy. Finally, Atrax sent a surrender message. He expected humanity to broadcast a triumphant victory speech. Humanity instead responded with, "Can we talk later? We're busy." Atrax blinked. A second message followed. "Fine. Bring snacks." Negotiations were held in orbit. Aboard the Star Fortress, humans had repurposed into a makeshift conference center. General Atrax arrived expecting stern diplomats. Instead, he found engineers tinkering with alien tech, hacker teens asleep on consoles, scientists scribbling equations on alien walls, and Ava Reyes, the university student, giving a presentation on how humans cracked alien cybersecurity just for fun. Atrax slowly sat down across from Commander Michelle Porter. I request an official ceasefire. Humanity has proven overwhelmingly superior. Porter raised an eyebrow. General, with respect, your fleet declared war on us, and we barely stopped what we were doing. We noticed, Atrax murmured. Porter leaned forward. Here's the deal. You leave Earth alone, forever. And in return, humanity won't take your ships apart. Atrax nodded rapidly. Yes, of course. Anything else? Porter smiled. 2 things. Atrax braced himself. 1, send us all the scientific data you have on the galaxy. We're catching up. Atrax nodded. And 2, Porter tapped her tablet. Next time, don't show up with a war fleet. Atrax exhaled. And why not? Porter smirked. Because we might not be so polite next time. Atrax gulped. Humanity had not only survived the Galactic Council's declaration of war, they barely noticed it, and the galaxy would never underestimate them again.